This is it, the moment has arrived, a rare Venus peak is upon us, and if you're one of the chosen ones, everything you thought you knew about love, creativity, and your own self-worth is about to be challenged. Have you felt it, a subtle yet undeniable shift in the energetic landscape of your relationships? This isn't just another transit. This Venus peak is a cosmic catalyst, accelerating timelines and demanding that you confront your deepest desires and fears. The window of opportunity is narrow. The next few days could redefine your love life, ignite your creative fire, and reshape your very sense of self. Are you ready to handle the potent energies that this Venus transit unleashes? And more importantly, are you ready to embrace the profound transformation it promises? What exactly is this Venus peak, and why is it so crucial for the chosen ones to understand it now? Let's be clear. The chosen ones aren't an elite group, but rather individuals like yourself who are particularly attuned to Venusian energy, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and all things that make life worth living. If you're feeling a pull in your heart, a stirring of creative energy, or a nagging sense that something needs to change in your relationships or how you see yourself, then this message is specifically for you. This Venus peak is acting like a cosmic mirror, reflecting back your deepest desires, fears, and limiting beliefs when it comes to relationships, creative pursuits, and your sense of personal value. Unresolved issues in these areas will become amplified, demanding your immediate attention. This reflection can be a profound blessing or a painful curse, entirely dependent on how you choose to respond. Now is the time to embrace this moment. Venus, as the celestial embodiment of love, beauty, and harmony, governs the very essence of our relationships, the vibrant spark of our creative expression, and the unwavering foundation of our self-esteem. In ancient mythology, Venus, also known as Aphrodite, emerged from the sea foam, symbolizing the birth of desire and the pursuit of pleasure and connection. Think back to a moment when you felt truly connected to another person, a surge of creative inspiration, or a deep sense of self-acceptance. That's Venus at work in your life. Venus has always been there, urging us to embrace connection. But this Venus peak isn't just about love and beauty. It's a time of accelerated karmic clearing and soulmate discernment. Karmic clearing is your chance to release old patterns, break free from the chains of past relationship wounds, and finally step into a healthier, more fulfilling dynamic. What about soulmate discernment? This is about distinguishing between those connections that truly align with your soul's path and those karmic relationships that are meant to teach you valuable lessons. Relationships formed or deepened during this Venus transit will have a monumental impact on your life path, shaping your future in ways you can scarcely imagine. Ignoring the call of this Venus peak could lead to missed opportunities for profound growth and genuine fulfillment in your love life, creative endeavors, and your relationship with yourself. Imagine remaining trapped in unhealthy relationship patterns, allowing your creative talents to wither, or continuing to struggle with crippling low self-esteem. Contrast this with the exhilarating potential. Discovering true love, unlocking boundless creative potential, and cultivating unwavering self-acceptance. Understanding the nuances of this Venus peak provides you with a roadmap, a celestial guide for navigating these powerful energies with conscious intention and deliberate purpose. Knowledge, in this case, is true power, the power to proactively shape your experiences, transform your relationships, and ignite the dormant potential within you. This video is your guide to harnessing the transformative power of Venus, ensuring that you emerge from this transit stronger, more aligned, and more deeply connected to your authentic self. To navigate this Venus transit successfully, vulnerability, authenticity, and self-compassion are your most valuable tools. Vulnerability allows you to forge deep, meaningful connections with others, creating space for intimacy and trust to flourish. Authenticity empowers you to express your true self, embracing your unique gifts and allowing your inner light to shine brightly. And self-compassion provides the gentle balm needed to heal from past wounds, silencing the inner critic and fostering unwavering self-acceptance. In the upcoming sections of this video, we'll delve deeper into each of these qualities, providing you with practical tools and techniques to cultivate them in your own life, enabling you to fully embrace the transformative potential of this Venus peak. This particular Venus transit is unique due to its specific astrological alignments and planetary interactions. Currently, Venus is positioned in Sagittarius, squaring Neptune. This particular alignment amplifies both the adventurous spirit of Venus, but can cause confusion regarding what is real versus what is illusion. This transit is a potent combination that magnifies the energies of love, creativity, and self-worth, making this Venus peak particularly intense and transformative. At its core, this Venus peak will serve as a cosmic spotlight, highlighting any hidden imbalances in your relationships, creative pursuits, and most importantly, in your own sense of self-esteem. These imbalances can manifest in a myriad of ways: conflict, stagnation, a gnawing sense of dissatisfaction, or a persistent feeling of being unfulfilled. Perhaps you find yourself trapped in a relationship lacking genuine intimacy, struggling to communicate your needs, or constantly feeling misunderstood. Maybe a creative project feels hopelessly blocked, stifled by fear of judgment or the crushing weight of perfectionism. Or perhaps you're haunted by a relentless feeling of self-doubt, questioning your worthiness and constantly comparing yourself to others. In the sections that follow, we'll equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to address these imbalances head-on. We will cover identifying unhealthy relationship patterns, exploring attachment styles, and mastering effective communication strategies. We will also delve into strategies for overcoming creative blocks by conquering your fear of judgment, and will provide a roadmap for cultivating unwavering self-worth and self-love, empowering you to set healthy boundaries and prioritize self-care. Pay close attention to the recurring synchronicities, dream symbolism, and intuitive hits that will flood your awareness during this Venus transit. These are not mere coincidences, they are whispers from the universe, gentle nudges guiding you toward greater self-understanding and alignment. Perhaps you'll start seeing repeating numbers related to love: 111, 222, or 333, each carrying a unique message of encouragement and support. You might experience vivid dreams, filled with symbolic imagery of past relationships or suppressed desires. Or you may find yourself experiencing strong gut feelings about a person or situation, an unwavering knowing that defies logic. Pay attention to these signs. As we journey deeper into this exploration of the Venus peak, I urge you to ask yourself these questions. Are you truly ready to confront the unvarnished truth about your relationships, your creative path, and most importantly, your own inherent worth? What are you truly seeking in these vital areas of your life? Genuine connection, unbridled creative expression, and unwavering self-acceptance. Pause now, take a few deep breaths, and allow these questions to resonate within you before continuing forward. But what unseen forces or spiritual dimensions are at play during this powerful Venus transit? Are we being guided by benevolent energies, tested by challenging circumstances, or perhaps a combination of both? Is it possible to connect with spiritual guides or receive messages from the universe during this time, gaining deeper insights into our soul's journey? The truth is, there may be both benevolent and challenging energies at work during this Venus peak, each offering unique opportunities for growth and transformation. As you navigate these energies, trust your intuition, remain open to receiving guidance from unexpected sources, and remember that you are not alone on this journey. Throughout this Venus peak, I strongly encourage you to become a conscious observer of your own experience. Track your synchronicities, record your dreams, and pay close attention to your intuitive hits. Keep a dedicated journal to document these experiences, noting any recurring themes, symbols, or patterns that emerge. As you begin to connect the dots, you'll gain a deeper understanding of your inner state and the powerful energies at play, empowering you to make conscious choices that align with your highest good. In the sections ahead, We'll provide you with specific tools and techniques to navigate this Venus transit with grace and intention. We will delve into the art of dream interpretation, helping you decode the hidden messages within your subconscious mind. We'll explore practices for connecting with spiritual guides, accessing their wisdom, and receiving personalized guidance. And we'll equip you with powerful strategies for releasing limiting beliefs, breaking free from self-sabotaging patterns, and embracing your full potential. Prepare to receive actionable advice and practical exercises that you can implement immediately, empowering you to harness the full transformative power of this Venus transit and emerge as the most authentic, vibrant version of yourself. Now let's delve deeper into how this Venus peak acts as a mirror, reflecting not just what you want to see in your relationships, but the often uncomfortable reality of existing patterns. Are you ready to confront the truth, even if it stings? Many of us unknowingly repeat unhealthy dynamics passed down through generations or born from our deepest fears. Perhaps you consistently find yourself in relationships where you're overly anxious, constantly seeking reassurance and terrified of abandonment, a classic sign of an anxious attachment style. Or maybe you're the avoidant type, pushing intimacy away, valuing independence above all else, and struggling to truly commit. Codependency can also rear its head, where your sense of worth becomes entangled with the needs and approval of your partner, leaving you feeling drained and resentful. This Venus peak amplifies these existing patterns, turning up the volume on your insecurities and dysfunctional behaviors until they become impossible to ignore. Imagine this scenario. During this Venus peak, a viewer with an anxious attachment style, despite years of therapy and conscious effort, finds themselves becoming overwhelmingly clingy and insecure with their partner. They're constantly checking their phone, questioning their partner's whereabouts, and seeking endless validation. The underlying fear of abandonment, usually simmering beneath the surface, boils over, creating conflict and pushing their partner away, thereby reinforcing their deepest fear. Can you see how this cosmic amplification demands immediate attention and a conscious shift? It is forcing them to confront core insecurities. This transit isn't just about romantic relationships, it extends to family and platonic connections. Has a friend been increasingly demanding? Are you feeling smothered by your parents? Now is the time to establish the boundaries needed to create balanced relationships. The Venus peak will also act as a catalyst for karmic clearing, accelerating the resolution of long-standing relationship patterns. But what exactly is a karmic relationship, and how does it differ from a soulmate connection? Karmic relationships are those intense, often tumultuous connections designed to teach you invaluable lessons and heal deep-seated wounds. They are characterized by repeating patterns, explosive emotions, and an undeniable sense of fate. Think of Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Their passionate, on-again, off-again relationship, filled with both love and conflict, embodies the chaotic nature of a karmic tie. Soulmate connections, on the other hand, while still profound, support your growth and happiness in a more harmonious way. They are built on mutual respect, shared values, and an easy sense of understanding. But how do you discern which is which? During this time, pay attention to the core dynamics. Karmic relationships often show very specific patterns. Rapid intensity, immediate intimacy, jealousy and possessiveness, power struggles and control, constant drama and conflict, feeling trapped or obligated, and repeating cycles of breakups and reconciliations. Contrast that with soulmate connections, where there is a gradual unfolding of intimacy, mutual respect and admiration, open and honest communication, a sense of freedom and support, shared values and life goals, and a feeling of being accepted for who you truly are. So, how do you know if a relationship is serving your highest good or holding you back? This Venus peak demands honest self-reflection, a deep dive into your intuition, and open communication with your partner. Ask yourself these crucial questions. Am I growing as a person in this relationship? Do I feel safe, supported, and truly seen? Are my needs being met? And am I able to meet my partner's needs in a balanced way? Are there repeating patterns of conflict or dissatisfaction that never seem to resolve? Is this relationship built on a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual admiration? If the answers to these questions consistently point to negativity, it may be time to consider whether this relationship is truly aligned with your soul's path. Understand that detaching from the outcome is paramount. Are you willing to release relationships that are no longer serving you, even if it's painful? The fear of being alone, the desire for validation, or the illusion of saving someone can keep you tethered to unhealthy dynamics. Imagine a viewer clinging to a toxic relationship out of fear of being alone, only to realize later that they were sacrificing their own well-being and hindering their personal growth. This Venus peak is urging you to prioritize your own happiness and well-being above all else. The challenges related to these relationships are often masked as something else. The validation might feel like love, but it's not. The support might feel real, but it isn't. Are you willing to really look? Now, let's shift our focus to your creative potential, another area profoundly impacted by this Venus peak. This transit can both ignite your creative fire and challenge your deepest insecurities about self-expression. It can amplify your creative desires, providing opportunities for breakthroughs and moments of profound inspiration. However, it can also bring up deep-seated fears of judgment, perfectionism, self-doubt, and a general lack of inspiration. Have you felt this push-pull dynamic in your own life? A sudden surge of creative energy followed by a wave of paralyzing self-doubt? Consider this scenario. A viewer who has always dreamed of writing a novel suddenly feels paralyzed by self-doubt during this Venus peak. Every sentence feels clunky, every character feels flat, and the fear of criticism looms large, preventing them from writing a single word. Or maybe you're a painter who suddenly feels blocked, unable to capture the vision in your mind's eye, constantly comparing your work to that of others, and finding yourself falling short. The key is to recognize these blocks as temporary obstacles, opportunities to confront your fears, and unlock your true creative potential. There are some practical tools to get around creative blocks, and it starts by quieting the inner critic. Employ affirmations like, "I am a creative being," or "My work is valuable and unique." Visualize yourself confidently expressing your creativity, receiving positive feedback, and feeling a sense of accomplishment. Engage in mindfulness exercises, focusing on the present moment and letting go of self-judgment. Then, start to tap into your inspiration. Try freewriting, allowing your thoughts to flow freely onto the page without editing or censoring yourself. Brainstorm ideas with friends or colleagues, bouncing thoughts off one another and generating new possibilities. Explore new art forms, try painting, sculpting, dancing, or playing a musical instrument, stepping outside of your comfort zone and discovering hidden talents. Remember, this transit is about embracing imperfections and celebrating the process of creation, not achieving flawless results. Dream symbolism and intuition can provide valuable insights into your creative process. Are you paying attention to your dreams and intuitive hits related to your creative projects? Encourage yourself to keep a dream journal, writing down any vivid or recurring dreams that seem to carry a message. Pay attention to synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, or signs that seem to be guiding you on your path. Trust your gut feelings and intuitive hunches, even if they don't make logical sense. But remember that dream guidance needs discernment. Not all dreams are real, relevant, or helpful. Discernment is needed to know when to trust the unconscious. This is your moment. Take a creative risk during this Venus peak, even if it feels scary. Share your work with others, start a new project, explore a different art form, or simply allow yourself to play and experiment without judgment. Celebrate small victories and embrace the joy of creative expression. This is about allowing yourself to be seen, to be heard, and to express your unique gifts to the world. Now let's turn our attention to elevating your self-worth and self-love, foundational elements for navigating this Venus peak successfully. The transit can magnify any existing feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and self-doubt. The solution is cultivating self-acceptance, and self-compassion. If you have low self-esteem, you might find yourself feeling even more critical, and that is why you must be ready to be gentle with yourself. Setting healthy boundaries in relationships and protecting your energy during this time will be vital. Are you ready to say no without guilt, communicate your needs clearly and assertively, and enforce consequences when boundaries are crossed? It's essential to protect one's energy. Employ visualization techniques, imagining a protective shield of light surrounding you, deflecting negative energies and intentions. Practice grounding exercises, connecting with the earth and drawing strength from its stability. Surround yourself with positive influences, uplifting friends, inspiring books, and environments that nurture your soul. Energy drainers need to be avoided at all costs. Recognize the people or situations that deplete your energy, leaving you feeling drained, exhausted, and emotionally depleted. Discern who to trust. Not all support is helpful. Some people may offer advice that is well-intentioned, but ultimately unhelpful or even harmful. Cut cords with toxic people and situations, releasing yourself from draining relationships and environments. Create a supportive and uplifting environment, surrounding yourself with people who believe in you, encourage your growth, and celebrate your successes. As the Venus peak intensifies, the veil between worlds thins, and spiritual dimensions become more accessible. During this heightened state, your intuition sharpens, dreams become vivid, and awareness of spiritual energies increases. Do you find yourself connecting with spiritual guides, angels, or ascended masters? Recognize that both benevolent and potentially misleading forces can become more prominent during this time. How do you discern between the two? When tuning into your intuition, pay attention to your gut feelings, synchronicities, and recurring thoughts or images. You can also start meditating, journaling, and spending time in nature. Trust your own inner guidance. Not all spiritual entities have our best interests at heart, and negative energies may attempt to attach themselves to you during this time. Protect yourself by setting clear boundaries, visualizing protective light, and calling on your spiritual guides for assistance. It can be a powerful time, but remember, discernment is the key. Dream symbolism offers another powerful avenue for self-discovery during the Venus peak. Are you ready to decode the hidden messages within your subconscious mind? The interpretation of dreams requires careful consideration of the dream's context and your own personal experiences. If keys appear, this may represent opportunities, while mirrors can symbolize self-reflection. Water can be the flow of emotions, and animals might represent instincts. Maintain a dream journal, documenting recurring themes, symbols, and emotions. By analyzing these dreams, you can gain valuable insights into your subconscious mind, unlocking hidden patterns and revealing your deepest desires and fears. To maintain spiritual balance, protect yourself by smudging with sage or Palo Santo, clearing negative energies from your space. Taking salt baths, which draws out toxins, and spending time in nature can create a sense of peace. The most important practice is calling upon your trusted spiritual guides for assistance. Ground yourself and connect to the earth, feeling the support and stability of the planet beneath you. Now, it's time to embrace vulnerability, release limiting patterns, and step into your power. This is your time to emerge. The Venus peak is accelerating growth and transformation, so you must be willing to face your fears. Integrate your new insights and release any unhealthy patterns, such as codependency, by setting healthy boundaries and communicating your needs. Overcome blocks by embracing imperfections, tap into inspiration, and celebrate small victories. You will also need to elevate your self-worth and self-love by practicing self-compassion, setting healthy boundaries, and protecting your energy. Take concrete steps by ending unhealthy relationships, starting a new creative project, or prioritizing self-care. Set intentions and take consistent action towards your goals. The universe is supporting you. Connect with others who are on a similar path and share your experiences. You are capable of creating a life filled with love, creativity, and self-worth. Remember, you are the chosen one, and you have the power to create the life you desire. What does this life look like? and what steps will you take today? In the next section, we'll explore case studies of individuals who have navigated the Venus peak. Let's get granular. It's time to dissect the precise astrological fingerprint of this Venus peak, because the devil, as they say, is in the details. Where exactly is Venus positioned, and how is that coloring the entire experience? Is Venus strutting confidently through Leo, amplifying the need for admiration and creative self-expression, but potentially fueling ego clashes in relationships? A Venus in Leo might manifest as grand romantic gestures, a desire for the spotlight in creative endeavors, and a strong sense of personal pride. However, it could also lead to possessiveness, a need for constant validation, and a tendency to dominate conversations. Or is Venus swimming in the intuitive depths of Pisces, blurring the lines between reality and fantasy, fostering compassion, but potentially leading to disillusionment? In relationships, this could manifest as intense empathy and a desire to merge with a partner, but also as a vulnerability to deception and a difficulty setting boundaries. Creatively, Venus in Pisces might inspire ethereal artwork and transcendent musical compositions, but it could also lead to unrealistic expectations and a lack of focus. Self-worth might fluctuate wildly, tied to the emotions of everyone else in your orbit, but if grounded, the desire to serve others could be transformative. Now, what other planetary bodies are shaking hands or throwing shade at Venus during this peak? Are we seeing a harmonious trine to Jupiter, expanding opportunities for love, abundance, and creative inspiration? This could manifest as unexpected romantic encounters, increased financial flow, and a surge of optimism and creative ideas. On the other hand, is there a tense square to Saturn, bringing challenges, restrictions, and a need for discipline in relationships, finances, and creative pursuits? Perhaps you're facing commitment issues, financial setbacks, or creative blocks that seem insurmountable, which are magnified by this peak. Remember, Venus square Saturn is not inherently negative. It calls for maturity, responsibility, and a long-term perspective. Or is there an opposition to Uranus, injecting unpredictability, excitement, and a desire for freedom into your relationships and creative endeavors? You might feel a sudden urge to break free from restrictive relationships or to experiment with unconventional art forms. However, this aspect can also lead to instability and impulsive decisions, so tread carefully. But the cosmos doesn't stop with the big players. Lesser-known celestial bodies add a rich tapestry of nuance to this Venus peak. For example, is Venus dancing closely with the asteroid Juno, highlighting the themes of commitment, marriage, and partnership? This could signal a deepening of existing relationships or the arrival of a significant soulmate connection. Conversely, if Venus is brushing against the fixed star Algol, known for its intense and often challenging energy, be prepared to confront hidden shadows, power dynamics, or even potential betrayals in your relationships. Venus conjunct Lilith can unveil repressed desires and challenge societal norms around female sexuality and self-expression, providing a surge of individual empowerment. These subtle influences add layers of complexity to the astrological picture, demanding careful attention and interpretation. This is critical. I want you to pause this video right now, pull up your birth chart, and identify any personal planets that will be aspected during this Venus transit. Will this Venus peak trigger a powerful transformation in your love life? Will it unlock hidden creative potential? Or will it bring challenges and lessons that ultimately lead to greater self-awareness and fulfillment? You need to know what is coming. Now, let's decode your relationship patterns, because this Venus peak has a way of exposing your deepest attachment styles, those ingrained ways of relating to others that often operate beneath your conscious awareness. Are you secure, anxiously attached, avoidant, or a combination of these? And how are these patterns playing out in your current relationships? Anxiously attached individuals might find their fears of abandonment amplified, leading to increased clinginess, jealousy, and a desperate need for reassurance. Imagine constantly texting your partner, seeking validation at every turn, and feeling a surge of panic when they don't respond immediately. Avoidant individuals, on the other hand, might withdraw emotionally, create distance, or sabotage intimacy, fearing vulnerability and commitment. Perhaps you find yourself pushing away potential partners, prioritizing independence above all else, and struggling to express your feelings openly. This peak shines a spotlight on the unmet needs and underlying wounds driving each attachment style. The anxious individual is desperately seeking the love and security they lacked in childhood, while the avoidant individual is protecting themselves from the pain of potential rejection or abandonment. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards healing and creating healthier relationships. This is how you start earning secure attachment. It is possible to heal insecure attachment patterns and develop a more secure way of relating to others. It requires conscious effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to challenge your ingrained beliefs and behaviors. How do you start cultivating this earned security? Practice open and honest communication with your partner, expressing your needs and feelings in a clear and assertive way. Actively listen to your partner's needs, validating their emotions and demonstrating empathy. Seek professional therapy to explore the root causes of your insecure attachment patterns and develop healthier coping mechanisms. And most importantly, practice self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance that you would offer a dear friend. Self-compassion is like an antibiotic for the heart. I want you to pause the video right now and grab a pen and paper. In the description is a template to categorize what you are currently experiencing through the lens of your attachment style. Don't skip this. But relationships aren't the only thing this Venus peak will impact. The energy will ignite dormant creative potential, transforming your creative blocks. The key to creative catalysis is transforming these blocks into breakthroughs. What are the specific gremlins holding you back? Is it the fear of judgment, whispering doubts in your ear and paralyzing you with self-consciousness? Perhaps you're haunted by perfectionism, striving for an unattainable ideal and never feeling satisfied with your work. Or maybe it's a simple lack of inspiration, leaving you feeling unmotivated and disconnected from your creative source. Advanced techniques like shadow work can unlock creativity. Shadow work involves exploring the hidden, repressed aspects of yourself, your fears, insecurities, and limiting beliefs. By bringing these shadows into the light, you can release their hold on your creative process and unlock new levels of self-expression. Maybe you've always been afraid of expressing your anger or sadness in your art. By exploring these emotions through shadow work, you can tap into a wellspring of raw, authentic creative energy. Now embrace the mess. View setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. There are countless stories of successful artists who faced rejection, criticism, and creative challenges on their path to success. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone towards it. Take 5 minutes right now. I want you to write down all of the self-sabotaging statements that you say to yourself, and then reframe them into constructive feedback that will encourage growth. If you tell yourself you are not a good painter, reframe it to say that I am learning to be a better painter and I will never give up. Finally, the Venus peak demands self-worth alchemy. If you feel unworthy, the negative self-talk will ruin your relationships and stifle your creative potential. The key is transforming that inner critic into your inner champion. If you are experiencing feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, self-doubt, and self-criticism, then you must employ advanced techniques to transform your perception. Start with self-compassion practices. Mindfulness meditation involves paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing you to observe your inner critic without getting caught up in its negativity. Loving-kindness meditation involves sending yourself and others feelings of love, compassion, and forgiveness, dissolving the barriers of self-criticism. Positive self-talk involves consciously replacing negative thoughts with positive and empowering affirmations, shifting your inner dialogue from self-doubt to self-confidence. You must also set healthy boundaries and prioritize self-care. Practice saying no without guilt, communicating your needs clearly and assertively, and enforcing consequences when boundaries are crossed. Create a self-care plan that nourishes your mind, body, and spirit, incorporating activities that bring you joy, relaxation, and a sense of well-being. Do you enjoy hiking in nature? Schedule regular hikes to reconnect with the earth and clear your mind. Do you find solace in reading? Carve out time each day to curl up with a good book and escape into another world. Now write down a list of the friends that you spend the most time with. After that, describe how you feel after interacting with that friend. Can you identify any negative patterns? Does this friend make you feel drained? Do you feel as if you are constantly supporting the friend without receiving support in return? As the Venus peak reaches its apex, be aware that it is possible to access spiritual dimensions, but you must integrate intuition and discernment. While heightened intuition and increased awareness of spiritual energies can be beneficial, it's crucial to approach these experiences with caution and discernment. Understand that there is a real potential for encountering misleading forces or deceptive entities. The key is to develop your intuition while maintaining a healthy level of skepticism. Engage in dream work by recording your dreams, identifying recurring symbols and themes, and exploring their personal meaning. Experiment with automatic writing, allowing your hand to move freely across the page without conscious thought, and trusting that your subconscious mind will guide your words. And connect with your spiritual guides, asking for their assistance in navigating the spiritual realms and protecting you from negative influences. However, always verify intuitive insights with logic, reason, and trusted sources. Remember, not all feelings are facts. Just because something feels right doesn't mean it is right. In today's information ecosystem, there are many ideas that sound good or feel good, but are actively harmful to the individual. For example, in response to the chaos in the world, it can feel good to ignore reality and retreat into conspiracy theories. But the feeling of safety that is gained is an illusion. Now, let's dive deep into understanding who you are during this Venus peak. Are you primarily embodying the lover, the artist, or the mirror? These aren't just labels, they are distinct patterns of behavior that will influence how you experience the coming days. It's likely you'll see pieces of yourself in all three, but one will likely be dominant. First, there's the lover. If relationships are your primary focus right now, if you feel an intense need for connection and intimacy, you are channeling this archetype. You are adept at creating close bonds, offering support, and nurturing others. You thrive in partnerships and find joy in creating harmonious environments. But here's the shadow side. The lover can easily slip into codependency, sacrificing their own needs and desires to please others. You might find yourself constantly seeking validation from your partner, fearing abandonment if you don't meet their expectations. Jealousy and possessiveness can also rear their heads, fueled by deep-seated insecurities. The challenge for you is to define healthy boundaries, develop a strong sense of self independent of your relationships, and recognize that your worth doesn't depend on external validation. If you have strong Venus aspects to your moon or Neptune in your astrological chart, the lover archetype may resonate strongly with you. For example, do you find that your moods are easily affected by the emotional state of your partner? Do you have a tendency to idealize romantic relationships, overlooking red flags in your eagerness to find the one? If this sounds familiar, you're being called to cultivate self-love and independence during this Venus peak. Next, we have the artist. For you, creativity is the lifeblood. You feel a burning desire to express yourself, to bring beauty and inspiration into the world. You are drawn to various forms of art, whether it's painting, writing, music, dance, or any other creative outlet. But the artist archetype often grapples with self-doubt and perfectionism. You might struggle to share your work with the world, fearing criticism or rejection. The challenge for you is to embrace imperfections, to recognize that your value as an artist doesn't depend on external validation, and to trust your unique creative vision. If you have strong Venus aspects to Mercury or Uranus, this archetype might be particularly relevant for you. Do you constantly second-guess your creative choices, comparing yourself to other artists and feeling inadequate? Do you have a habit of starting projects but never finishing them because you're afraid they won't be good enough? Know that the Venus Peak is urging you to overcome these blocks, to unleash your creativity without fear, and to share your gifts with the world. Finally, we have the Mirror. This archetype is deeply introspective, focused on self-reflection and inner work. You are driven to understand yourself on a deeper level, to uncover your hidden patterns and limiting beliefs. You are drawn to practices like meditation, journaling, and therapy, seeking to gain clarity and insight. However, the Mirror archetype can become overly critical and isolated. You might find yourself dwelling on your flaws, comparing yourself to others, and feeling unworthy of love or connection. The challenge is to cultivate self-compassion, to recognize that you are worthy of love and acceptance exactly as you are, and to connect with others authentically. If you have strong Venus aspects to Saturn or Pluto, the Mirror archetype may resonate strongly with you. Do you tend to withdraw from social situations, feeling like you don't belong or that you're not good enough? Are you constantly analyzing your thoughts and feelings, searching for hidden meanings or underlying motivations? The Venus Peak invites you to embrace self-acceptance, to connect with others from a place of vulnerability and authenticity, and to recognize the inherent worth within yourself. Take some time to journal about this. Ask yourself, which archetype resonates most strongly with me? What are the strengths and challenges of this archetype? How can I leverage my strengths and overcome my challenges during this Venus Peak? Now, let's confront your relationship blind spots. We all have them, those unconscious patterns that hinder intimacy and understanding. And this Venus Peak has a way of magnifying them, bringing them to the surface in uncomfortable ways. Think of blind spots as areas on your car where you can't see other vehicles. You might think the lane is clear, but you're actually putting yourself at risk because of the obscured view. This is exactly what happens in relationships. What are some common defense mechanisms contributing to these blind spots? Denial, projection, rationalization, and displacement are major culprits. Denial is refusing to acknowledge a problem. Projection is attributing your own feelings to someone else. Rationalization is justifying bad behavior. Displacement is taking your anger out on a safe target. These all create communication distortions. Passive-aggressiveness, stonewalling, criticism, and defensiveness will poison any relationship. Passive-aggressiveness is expressing anger indirectly. Stonewalling is withdrawing from the conversation. Criticism is attacking your partner's character. Defensiveness is refusing to take responsibility. Imagine a couple where one partner constantly makes sarcastic remarks instead of directly expressing their needs. This is passive-aggressiveness. The other partner, feeling attacked, withdraws from the conversation, refusing to engage. This is stonewalling. The cycle continues, fueled by defensiveness and an inability to communicate openly and honestly. Pause this video. Do you recognize these patterns in your life? It's difficult, but the first step is to seek honest feedback. Ask a trusted friend or therapist for their perspective on your relationship dynamics. Practice active listening and empathy in your communication, truly trying to understand your partner's point of view. Most importantly, take responsibility for your own behavior and address your underlying insecurities. Daily mindful communication is crucial. Create reflective journaling exercises to express feelings. Learn clean communication mirroring and validation. Next, let's talk about creative courage. I want to give you a creative courage test. Creative courage is essential for unlocking your full potential and sharing your unique gifts. Are you willing to experiment, even if you're not sure you'll be good at it? How do you typically respond to criticism of your work? Are you comfortable sharing your work with others, even if it's not perfect? Are you able to bounce back from rejection? These are all indicators of your creative courage. Think about these questions. Are you willing to try a new art form, even if you're not sure you'll be good at it? How do you typically respond to criticism of your work? Are you comfortable sharing your work with others, even if it's not perfect? Now, based on your answers, You will identify strengths and weaknesses. If you are hesitant to try new things, you are likely in a fixed mindset. If you embrace criticism as an opportunity to grow, you are likely in a growth mindset. Cultivating this growth mindset, viewing skills as improvable with effort, is necessary. If you struggle, then join a supportive community to give and receive encouragement. Focus on the process, not just the product, and embrace experimentation. As a challenge, I want you to take one small step outside of your creative comfort zone during this Venus peak. Share your work online, enter a competition, or take a class in a new art form. Celebrate the small victories. These themes lead us to self-worth sabotage. This is the silent killer of dreams and relationships. Self-worth sabotage is rooted in childhood experiences, limiting beliefs, and unresolved traumas. This Venus peak will bring these patterns to the surface. Procrastination, perfectionism, negative self-talk, people-pleasing, and self-isolation will undermine your sense of value. Procrastination reinforces feelings of inadequacy. Perfectionism leads to disappointment. The antidote to self-worth sabotage is self-compassion. Practice daily affirmations to reinforce positive self-beliefs. Implement cognitive restructuring to reframe negative thoughts. Set realistic, achievable goals and celebrate accomplishments. Finally, let's consider your spiritual contracts. The Venus peak provides an opportunity to review and renegotiate these contracts, aligning them with your current needs and desires. Are you ready? This Venus peak isn't just an event to observe from afar. It's a mirror reflecting the deepest parts of yourself. You've identified with the lover, the artist, or the mirror, perhaps even a blend, and now the archetypes are amplified. The volume is turned up on your emotional responses, your creative urges, and your self-perception. Have you felt that intensity? But heightened experience brings heightened challenge. For the lover, this amplification means emotional intensity cranked to 11. Every feeling is sharper, every connection deeper, every potential rejection more agonizing. The desire for connection becomes all-consuming, blurring the lines between healthy attachment and codependency. Imagine this: you meet someone new, and instantly they become the center of your universe. You scroll through their social media for hours, analyzing every post, every like. You're constantly texting, needing reassurance of their affection. Other friendships fade into the background. Work, hobbies, self-care, all take a backseat. The challenge here is to maintain your sense of self. Can you remember who you were before this person entered the picture? What were your passions, your goals, your boundaries? It's crucial to reconnect with those aspects of yourself to avoid losing yourself entirely in the relationship. Now, consider the artist. The creative floodgates are open, ideas pouring forth in a torrent of inspiration. But with this intensified flow comes an equally intensified wave of self-criticism. The fear of judgment looms large, whispering doubts and insecurities into your ear. Picture this: you're working on a painting, a song, a story, and you feel a surge of excitement, convinced that this is your masterpiece. But then the inner critic chimes in: it's not good enough. It's been done before. No one will care. You become paralyzed by perfectionism, endlessly tweaking and revising, never quite satisfied. The blank canvas becomes a symbol of your inadequacy. The challenge is to balance that creative passion with self-acceptance. Can you embrace imperfections, view them as unique signatures of your artistic voice? Can you find joy in the process of creation, regardless of the outcome? And for the mirror, the self-reflection becomes a hall of mirrors, each reflecting a distorted image of your perceived flaws. Introspection spirals into obsession, self-doubt amplifies, and negative self-talk becomes a constant companion. Imagine this: you spend hours analyzing your past mistakes, replaying conversations in your head, dissecting every word, every action. You compare yourself to others, finding yourself lacking in every way. You feel unworthy of love, success, happiness. Isolation beckons, a seemingly safe haven from the judgment of others. The challenge is to cultivate self-compassion, to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Can you challenge those negative thoughts, replace them with affirmations of your inherent worth? Can you break free from the prison of self-imposed isolation and connect with others authentically. Remember, it is okay to embody aspects of all three archetypes. The point is to acknowledge which aspects make you the most vulnerable and to act accordingly. But what if these amplified experiences aren't just tests of strength, but invitations to heal? That's where Venusian shadow work comes into play. Think of it as a deep dive into the hidden corners of your heart, the places where repressed emotions and limiting beliefs reside. These shadows aren't inherently negative, they're simply unacknowledged aspects of ourselves, and during this Venus peak, they're clamoring for attention. For the lover, the Venusian shadow manifests as the fear of abandonment. This fear can drive you to cling to unhealthy relationships, sacrificing your own needs and desires to avoid being alone. You might tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or even abuse, all because the thought of being single is unbearable. Consider this journaling prompt. What are my earliest memories of rejection or abandonment? How have those experiences shaped my relationship patterns? Connect this with your previous communication habits. Are you communicating directly and honestly, or are you resorting to passive aggressiveness, hinting at your needs instead of voicing them clearly? The artist's Venusian shadow is the fear of failure. This fear can stifle your creativity, preventing you from sharing your work with the world. You might believe that your art is not good enough, that you'll be ridiculed or dismissed. Try this exercise, create a shadow self-portrait. It doesn't have to be a literal portrait. It can be a collage, a poem, a song, anything that represents your fears and insecurities as an artist. Are you always comparing yourself to others? What if you could transform that comparison into inspiration? And for the mirror, the Venusian shadow is the belief that you are unworthy of love or success. This belief can lead to self-sabotage, preventing you from pursuing your dreams or forming meaningful connections. You might be overly critical of yourself and others, constantly finding fault and dwelling on imperfections. Try this, practice self-compassion exercises. Write a letter to yourself from the perspective of a loving friend, offering support and understanding. Challenge those negative self-talk patterns. Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am worthy of love and acceptance." The process of integrating these shadows isn't always easy, but it's essential for unlocking your full potential. By acknowledging and accepting these hidden aspects of yourself, you can move towards greater authenticity, creativity, and fulfilling relationships. Now imagine all three archetypes standing at a crossroads, each facing a critical choice that will determine their path forward during this Venus peak. The lover is presented with a choice: to either cling to an unhealthy relationship out of fear of being alone, or to release it and embrace the unknown. What if they choose to stay? They risk further emotional pain, stagnation, and the erosion of their self-worth. But what if they choose to leave? They face the terrifying prospect of being alone, of confronting their deepest insecurities without the buffer of a relationship. Yet, this choice also opens the door to true love, self-discovery, and the possibility of finding a partner who truly honors and supports them. The artist must decide to either suppress their creative expression out of fear of judgment or to share their work with the world, risking criticism and rejection. If they choose to remain silent, they risk feelings of emptiness, resentment, and a sense of unfulfilled potential. But if they choose to share their art, they face the potential for ridicule, disappointment, and the crushing weight of expectations. However, this choice also opens the door to recognition, fulfillment, connection, and the opportunity to inspire and uplift others. The mirror's choice: to either remain isolated and self-critical, or to connect with others authentically, risking vulnerability and rejection. If they choose isolation, they risk loneliness, despair, and a deepening sense of unworthiness. But if they choose connection, they face the potential for heartbreak, disappointment, and the painful exposure of their perceived flaws. However, this choice also opens the door to love, support, belonging, and the transformative power of genuine human connection. What about you? You may be at your own crossroad of choice. Right now, I want you to consider, what's another path? What does that path look like? What unique challenges might you encounter? During this Venus peak, You may feel a surge of intuitive insights, flashes of inspiration, and a deeper connection to your inner guidance. Pay attention to these whispers, these nudges from the universe. But beware, not every feeling is truth. Discernment becomes absolutely crucial. How do you distinguish between genuine intuition and misleading impulses? Explore techniques for tuning into your intuition. Keep a dream journal, and as you wake each morning, record what you can remember. Explore automatic writing, letting your hand move freely across the page without conscious thought. The key to this is to avoid judgment and embrace the free flow of your ideas. Connect with spiritual guides, but approach this with caution. Not every entity has your best interests at heart, but here's the catch. Intuition alone isn't enough. You must verify these insights with logic, reason, and trusted sources. Do your research, seek advice from mentors or therapists. Don't blindly follow what feels right without critical thinking. I'll share a cautionary tale. I knew someone who was convinced that a new business partner was their soulmate. They felt an instant connection, a sense of destiny. Ignoring red flags and the advice of trusted advisors, they invested everything in the partnership. It ended in financial ruin and heartbreak. This person acted on what felt right. That's why the Venus peak can be dangerous. So how can you verify your gut feelings? First, gather data. Look for evidence to support or contradict your intuition. Second, consider the source. Are your insights coming from a place of fear or love? Third, trust your body. What sensations are you experiencing? Tension, excitement, unease? Write these things down. I encourage you to create your own methods of verification, something that resonates specifically with you. Finally, let's talk about anchoring these energies. The Venus peak is a powerful catalyst for transformation, but its effects can fade if you don't actively integrate them into your daily life. Create a Venus-inspired altar, adorned with roses, crystals, and symbols of love and beauty. Spend time in nature, connecting with the earth and its grounding energy. Engage in creative practices that bring you joy, whether it's painting, dancing, singing, or writing. Nurture your relationships, expressing your love and appreciation for those who support you. Set intentions for your future pathways. Visualize your ideal relationships, your dream career, your most authentic self. Then, take concrete steps towards achieving those goals, no matter how small. Remember, this Venus peak is just one step on a lifelong journey of growth and transformation. There will be challenges along the way. Be kind to yourself, practice resilience, and never lose sight of the beauty and potential that resides within you. In our upcoming content, we will be delivering actionable advice and tools for further exploration of these topics. You don't want to miss it. Now, as this Venus peak intensifies, understand this. It's not just about external events. It's about the seismic shifts occurring within. For the chosen ones, the archetypes you embody are about to be supercharged. But what does that feel like? Let's break it down, because recognizing these internal flares is your first line of defense. If you resonate with the lover archetype, prepare for an emotional roller coaster. Those simmering anxieties about relationships, they're about to boil over. That nagging fear of rejection, it's morphing into a monstrous, all-consuming dread. You might find yourself trapped in obsessive thought patterns, constantly analyzing your partner's actions, seeking hidden meanings where none exist. For instance, you might find yourself relentlessly scrutinizing your partner's social media activity, dissecting every comment, every like, searching for proof of infidelity or disinterest. This internal turmoil can manifest physically: a racing heart, sleepless nights, a knot in your stomach that never quite disappears. Remember, it's not about dismissing these feelings, but about understanding their origin and recognizing their amplified intensity. It's the signal that the Venus peak is digging deep into your core vulnerabilities, preparing you for a pivotal choice. Now, consider the artist archetype. That creative spark is about to ignite into a raging inferno. Ideas will flood your mind, demanding to be expressed. But alongside this surge of inspiration comes crippling self-doubt. Perfectionism rears its ugly head, turning you into your own worst critic. You might find yourself starting countless projects, only to abandon them halfway through, paralyzed by the fear that none of them will ever be good enough. Perhaps you're a musician who starts writing dozens of songs only to delete them all, convinced they're derivative and uninspired. These internal battles can manifest physically: tension, headaches, clenched muscles, a bone-deep fatigue that saps your creative energy. Don't let the fear win. It's time to channel the increased Venusian energy into overcoming self-doubt. And if you identify with the mirror archetype, brace yourself for an intense period of introspection. That tendency to analyze yourself, it's about to become an all-consuming obsession. Negative self-talk will spiral into a vortex of self-loathing, making it nearly impossible to accept your flaws. You might spend hours scrutinizing your reflection, picking apart every perceived imperfection, convinced that you're fundamentally unlovable. Perhaps you're someone who constantly compares yourself to others on social media, feeling inadequate because you don't measure up to their carefully curated images. This relentless self-criticism can manifest physically. Overwhelming lethargy, changes in appetite, a desire to withdraw from the world. Understand that the Venus peak is magnifying these existing tendencies, bringing them to the surface so you can finally confront them. But these amplified internal states are not curses, they are catalysts. Acknowledging them is the crucial first step. This brings us to the crucial question. How do you interpret these subconscious signals? How do you distinguish between genuine intuition and amplified anxiety? The answer lies in tuning into the subtle energies that are coursing through you during this Venus peak. The subtle energies of the Venus peak can manifest in countless ways. A sudden pressure on your sternum, unexplained temperature shifts in your extremities, a high-pitched ringing in your ears, an overwhelming sense of peace. These sensations will differ for each archetype. The lover might feel a persistent tightness in their chest, a physical manifestation of their anxiety about relationships. The artist might experience their creative energy as a tingling sensation in their hands, a buzzing energy that demands to be released. The mirror might feel a heavy weight on their shoulders, a physical burden of self-criticism. To tap into these subtle signals, embrace mindfulness and meditation. For the lover, try a loving-kindness meditation, focusing on sending compassion and acceptance to yourself and others. Imagine wrapping yourself in a warm, comforting light, radiating love and forgiveness. For the artist, visualize creative energy flowing through your body, clearing any blockages and igniting your imagination. Picture a vibrant stream of light pouring into your crown chakra, filling you with inspiration and vitality. For the mirror, practice self-compassion meditation, acknowledging your flaws with kindness and understanding. Visualize yourself as a child, offering comfort and reassurance. Dream symbolism also offers a potent portal into your subconscious patterns and unresolved issues. Pay close attention to your dreams during this Venus peak. Are you being chased? It could represent your fear of intimacy or vulnerability. Are your teeth falling out? It might symbolize a loss of power or self-esteem. Are you flying? It could represent a desire for freedom or escape. Keep a dream journal, recording your dreams as soon as you wake up. Look for recurring themes and patterns. What emotions were present in the dream? What symbols stood out to you? However, discernment is paramount. Not every sensation, every dream, every intuitive hit is a divine message. The Venus peak can also amplify your fears and insecurities, leading you down false paths. Do not jump to conclusions. Do not let fear dictate your response. Question everything. Seek external validation from trusted sources, because this Venus peak presents you with a pivotal moment of choice, a fork in the road that will determine your path forward. Will you succumb to your fears and limitations, or will you rise to meet your full potential? This is it, the moment of choice. For the lover, the choice is stark. Remain in a codependent relationship, sacrificing your own needs for your partner's, or set healthy boundaries and prioritize your well-being. Choose the former, and you condemn yourself to continued emotional pain, resentment, and a never-ending cycle of unhealthy relationships. But choose the latter, and you open the door to self-respect, healthier relationships based on mutual support and equality. And perhaps most importantly, this choice affirms that you believe you deserve more from relationships. For the artist, the choice is equally profound. Suppress your creative expression, fearing judgment and failure, or embrace vulnerability and share your work with the world. Choose to remain silent, and you risk continued feelings of emptiness, stagnation, and resentment. But choose to share your art, and you unlock the possibility of self-confidence, fulfillment, and connection with others through your art. You might even create an entirely new career path, one that is fueled by Venusian creativity. For the mirror, the choice is about turning inward or seeking authentic connection. Remain isolated and self-critical, reinforcing your negative self-image, or connect with others authentically and practice self-compassion. Continue down the path of isolation, and you perpetuate loneliness, depression, and a relentless cycle of negative self-talk. But choose connection and self-compassion, and you foster increased self-acceptance, deeper relationships with others, and a greater sense of belonging. But remember, the universe is not a cruel taskmaster. You are not locked into any single outcome. You can choose an alternate path at any moment. It will be challenging. You will face resistance from your own fears and insecurities. But the rewards are immeasurable, a life filled with love, creativity, and fulfillment. And remember, during these times, your energetic boundaries become paramount. The Venus peak doesn't just amplify your own emotions, it also makes you more susceptible to external influences. It creates spiritual vulnerabilities, requiring proactive energy defense strategies. Because in times like these, there are those unseen forces, those energetic vampires, that seek to drain your vitality and lower your vibration. Energetic vampires are people, situations, or even thought patterns that drain your energy and leave you feeling depleted. Gossip, constant complaining, negativity, and relentless criticism are all hallmarks of these energy drainers. These influences can manifest in countless ways: increased stress, fatigue, anxiety, crippling self-doubt, and a general sense of unease. Protect yourself with visualization. Imagine yourself surrounded by a shield of white light, deflecting any negative energy that comes your way. Ground yourself by spending time in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, visualizing roots extending from your feet into the ground. Set firm boundaries with toxic people or situations. Learn to say no without guilt or explanation. Cut cords with anyone or anything that is draining you. Discerning who to trust is essential. Seek support from positive, uplifting influences. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who encourage your growth, who reflect back your own inherent worth. Develop a personalized ritual, a set of actions that you can take whenever you feel your energy being drained. This could be as simple as lighting a candle, taking a bath with Epsom salts, listening to uplifting music, or spending time in meditation. Remember that your energy is a precious resource, and you must protect it fiercely. Now, remember earlier when I teased the idea of anchoring these energies? As the Venus peak intensifies, so does our need to not only acknowledge and protect, but also utilize these heightened internal and external forces. And that's just a glimpse of what's to come in the next section. We'll be providing you with additional tools and techniques for transforming those negative patterns and harnessing the positive energy of this potent Venus peak. I'll walk you through advanced shadow work practices, guide you in cultivating self-love and acceptance, show you how to connect with your spiritual guides for unwavering support, and even help you create a personalized Venus peak ritual. Remember this, the Venus peak is a journey, not a destination. Continued effort, relentless self-awareness, and unwavering self-compassion are essential for lasting transformation. The universe has chosen you for this moment. You have the strength, the resilience, and the power to overcome any challenge and create a life overflowing with love, creativity, and boundless fulfillment. Now I urge you to share your experiences, your insights, your struggles, and your triumphs in the comments section below. Let's build a supportive community, a collective of chosen ones navigating this transformative journey together. So, how do you anchor these heightened internal and external forces? How do you transform those negative patterns and harness the positive energy of this potent Venus peak? It begins with charting your unique course, understanding that the path through this cosmic event is deeply personal and archetype-specific, because generic advice simply won't cut it. If you're navigating this Venus peak as a lover, relationships are your proving ground. The challenges will be intense, but so will the opportunities for growth. Radical self-acceptance is your bedrock. This isn't about excusing unhealthy behaviors, but about acknowledging your flaws and imperfections with compassion. Understand that your past experiences have shaped you, but they do not define you. Setting clear boundaries is your shield. Communicate your needs and limits assertively, without guilt or fear. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Healthy communication is your sword. Practice active listening, expressing your feelings honestly and respectfully, and resolving conflicts constructively. Conscious relating is the destination. It's about relating from a place of awareness, intention, and authenticity. Are you projecting your insecurities onto your partner? Are you seeking validation from them instead of within yourself? Are you choosing partners who reflect your own woundedness? Journaling prompts like these can help you assess where you are on the path to conscious relating. Codependency, fear of abandonment, and difficulty with intimacy are the dragons you must slay. Remember, you are worthy of love, you are capable of setting boundaries, and you are strong enough to be vulnerable. For the artist archetype, creativity is your compass. The Venus peak offers a surge of inspiration, but also the potential for crippling self-doubt. Reframing perfectionism as a guide, not a jailer, is your first step. It's not about achieving flawlessness, but about striving for excellence with intention and self-compassion. Embrace experimentation and failure. Every mistake is a learning opportunity, a chance to refine your craft. Find joy in the process. Focus on the pleasure of creating, not just the end result. Flow state is the holy grail. It's that state of deep immersion where time seems to disappear and creativity flows effortlessly. Practices for entering flow state include eliminating distractions, setting clear goals, focusing intently on the task at hand, and embracing challenges. Self-doubt, fear of judgment, and procrastination are the demons you must confront. Recognize that you are talented, your voice matters, and your art has the power to inspire. And for those embodying the mirror archetype, self-worth is your North Star. This Venus peak is an invitation to cultivate self-compassion, build unwavering self-worth, and connect with others authentically. Loving-kindness meditation is your balm. Direct loving and accepting phrases towards yourself. Challenging negative self-talk is your weapon. Replace self-criticism with positive affirmations. Acts of self-care are your nourishment. Engage in activities that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Radical self-acceptance is your liberation. It's about embracing all aspects of yourself, even the parts you deem unlovable. Radical self-acceptance affirmations include: I accept myself unconditionally. I am worthy of love and belonging. I am enough just as I am. Self-criticism, isolation, and fear of vulnerability are the shadows you must integrate. Remember, you are inherently valuable, you are deserving of connection, and you are strong enough to be seen. These are starting points, not rigid prescriptions. Adapt and personalize these strategies to fit your unique needs and circumstances. Experiment, iterate, and trust your intuition. But even with the right strategies, navigating this Venus peak requires delving deeper, decoding the subconscious scripts that are running your life. These scripts, deeply ingrained patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior, shape your experiences in relationships, creativity, and self-worth, often operating outside of your conscious awareness. These scripts are often formed in childhood, based on your early experiences and interactions with caregivers. They can be positive, empowering beliefs, or they can be limiting, self-sabotaging narratives. To identify and decode these scripts, pay attention to recurring patterns in your life. Do you consistently attract the same type of partner? Do you repeatedly sabotage your creative projects? Do you find yourself stuck in a cycle of negative self-talk? Identify emotional triggers. What situations or interactions evoke strong emotional reactions in you? These triggers can provide clues about your underlying scripts. Challenge negative thoughts. Are you constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, not worthy of love, not capable of success? These thoughts are often rooted in limiting beliefs. Try journaling to explore past experiences and identify emotional triggers. Rewrite limiting scripts through visualization and affirmations. If you're a lover archetype, you might believe you are unworthy of love. As an artist, you might believe you are not talented enough. As a mirror, you might believe you are not good enough. Now, let's explore how to rewrite these limiting scripts. For example, use parts work to integrate conflicting inner voices. Imagine each inner voice as a separate part of yourself with its own needs and desires. Engage in a dialogue with these parts, seeking to understand their motivations and find common ground. Challenge the validity of old beliefs with evidence. Ask yourself, is there any evidence to support this belief? Or is it just a story I've been telling myself? Visualize a new, empowering script playing out in your life. Imagine yourself succeeding in your relationships, your creative pursuits, and your self-acceptance. Monitor your thoughts and feelings daily to catch old patterns. When you notice a limiting belief creeping in, gently redirect your thoughts towards a more positive and empowering perspective. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," immediately counter it with, "I am capable and worthy of love and success." Rewriting subconscious scripts is a process that requires self-compassion and patience. Be kind to yourself and celebrate small victories along the way. With these scripts revealed, it's time for power decisions, conscious choices that align with your values and goals. This Venus peak is a potent catalyst, but it's your conscious decisions that will determine the course of your transformation. For the lover archetype, when faced with a challenging relationship situation, ask yourself, is this decision based on love or fear? Am I honoring my own needs and boundaries? Am I willing to walk away if this relationship is not healthy for me? These questions can guide you toward making choices that prioritize your well-being and foster healthier relationships. For example, choosing to end a codependent relationship, even though it's scary, is a powerful act of self-love. For the artist archetype, when confronted with creative blocks or self-doubt, ask yourself, am I allowing fear of judgment to hold me back? Am I focusing on the process or the outcome? Am I willing to embrace imperfections and share my work with the world? These questions can empower you to overcome your fears and unleash your creative potential. Choosing to share your work online, even if it's not perfect, is a courageous step towards self-expression. And for the mirror archetype, when struggling with self-criticism or isolation, ask yourself, am I being kind and compassionate to myself? Am I focusing on my strengths or my weaknesses? Am I willing to connect with others authentically? These questions can guide you toward cultivating self-acceptance and building meaningful connections. Choosing to attend a social event, even though it's uncomfortable, is a powerful way to break free from isolation. Making conscious choices is a continuous practice, a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. It's okay to make mistakes along the way. The key is to learn from your setbacks and keep moving forward. Celebrate your small victories and acknowledge your progress. To further support you on this journey, remember to use spiritual tools. Anchoring positive energy and protecting yourself from negative influences are essential during this Venus peak. Creating a Venus-inspired altar with flowers, crystals, and symbols of love and beauty can help you connect with the energy of the planet. Spending time in nature can ground you and restore your balance. Engaging in creative practices can unleash your inner muse. Connecting with loved ones can uplift your spirits. You can also connect with spiritual guides or angels for support and assistance. Invoke the assistance of these benevolent beings through meditation, prayer, or visualization. Simply ask for their guidance and trust that they will provide you with the support you need. Setting clear boundaries with unseen forces is also important. Trust your intuition and don't be afraid to say no to anything that feels off. Clear negative energy by smudging with sage or Palo Santo, taking salt baths, and visualizing protective light surrounding you. But remember, not all spiritual guides are benevolent, and discernment is key. A helpful entity will respect your boundaries, empower you to make your own decisions, and never pressure you to do anything that feels uncomfortable. Warning signs of deception or manipulation include feeling drained or depleted after an interaction, experiencing a loss of personal power, or being pressured to compromise your values. Maintain your personal authority and boundaries. You are the master of your own destiny. Here's a ritual you can perform safely. Find a quiet space where you can be alone and undisturbed. Light a white candle, symbolizing purity and protection. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Visualize a brilliant white light surrounding you, creating an impenetrable shield. Affirm your intention to release any negative energy and to connect with your inner strength. Spend a few minutes in silence, feeling the protective energy of the white light. When you're ready, open your eyes and blow out the candle, sealing your intention. Rely on your own strength, not on an external power. This brings us to the path forward. Embrace authenticity and empowerment. The Venus Peak is an opportunity for profound personal transformation, but it requires embracing your authentic self, vulnerabilities, and all. Authenticity is the key to creating fulfilling relationships, unlocking creative potential, and building self-worth. Commit to taking concrete steps towards positive change in your life. End unhealthy relationships, start a new creative project, practice self-compassion, and connect with others authentically. You have the strength and resilience to overcome any challenge and create a life filled with love, creativity, and fulfillment. What one action will you commit to doing this week? Post it in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable and celebrate our progress. You are the creators of your own reality, and you have the power to manifest a life filled with love, joy, and abundance. The next step involves facing some uncomfortable truths, and it will be challenging for many viewers. But before we delve into the transformative power of these decisions, we must first acknowledge the breaking points, the moments where the intensified Venusian energy threatens to overwhelm you. Are you prepared to recognize the signs before it's too late? For the lover archetype, this breaking point often manifests as an insatiable need to prove their worth to their partner. Driven by deep-seated insecurities, they engage in self-sacrificing behaviors, constantly seeking validation and reassurance. This might look like constantly initiating dates, showering their partner with gifts, or providing unwavering emotional support, all while their own needs are neglected. But what happens when their efforts aren't reciprocated? The lover experiences extreme anxiety, spiraling into feelings of worthlessness and resentment, eventually leading to physical or emotional collapse. Imagine the lover, Sarah, who, after weeks of planning romantic getaways and cooking elaborate dinners for her partner, Mark, receives a dismissive thanks and a request to tone it down. Sarah's immediate thought isn't, maybe Mark is stressed, but rather, I'm not good enough, I need to try harder. This is the precipice of energetic overload. The specific thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that signal this overload include obsessive thoughts about their partner, feelings of anxiety and insecurity that become physically debilitating, a compulsive need to check in with their partner constantly, neglecting their own needs and interests to an alarming degree. The lover might find themselves constantly checking their partner's social media, analyzing every interaction for hidden meanings, and losing sleep over imagined slights. Recognizing these warning signs early, the persistent knot in your stomach, the irrational jealousy, the overwhelming exhaustion is crucial to prevent a full-blown energetic breakdown. The artist archetype's breaking point is often fueled by the relentless pursuit of a masterpiece. Driven by perfectionism and a fear of judgment, they become hypercritical of their own work, experiencing creative paralysis and ultimately spiraling into self-doubt and despair. This is the artist who spends hours on a single painting, constantly erasing and redoing sections, feeling increasingly frustrated and inadequate with each stroke. Or the writer who starts countless novels but can't seem to finish even one, paralyzed by the fear that their work will never measure up. Think of David, a talented musician who dreams of writing the perfect symphony. But instead of enjoying the process, David obsesses over every note, convinced that it's not good enough. He spends hours tweaking a single bar, erasing and redoing it countless times, until he's completely drained and his passion is extinguished. This perfectionism leads to shutdown. The thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that signal this energetic overload for the artist include crippling self-doubt, feelings of inadequacy and frustration that paralyze their creative flow, an inability to focus or concentrate on their art, and procrastination or complete creative paralysis, where they avoid their creative pursuits altogether. Pay attention to the signs. The tightening in your chest when you approach your canvas, the relentless inner critic that silences your inspiration, the growing pile of unfinished projects that haunt your waking hours. Recognizing these warning signs early can prevent a devastating creative implosion. For the mirror archetype, the breaking point stems from an obsessive desire to fix perceived flaws. Driven by deep-seated insecurities and a need for external validation, they engage in relentless self-analysis, isolating themselves from others, and ultimately experiencing a profound crisis of self-worth. This is the person who spends hours comparing themselves to others on social media, obsessively analyzing their appearance in the mirror, and feeling increasingly unattractive and unlovable. Imagine Emily, constantly scrutinizing her reflection, picking apart every perceived imperfection, and feeling increasingly disgusted with her appearance. She cancels plans with friends, convinced that she's too unattractive to be seen in public. She then spirals into a self-induced exile. The specific thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that signal this energetic overload for the mirror include constant negative self-talk, feelings of worthlessness and shame that permeate their every thought, social withdrawal and isolation from loved ones, and an obsessive focus on flaws and imperfections, real or imagined. The mirror might also find themselves spending excessive amounts of time and money on cosmetic procedures or products, desperately seeking to attain an unattainable ideal. Heed the warning signs, the harsh inner voice that relentlessly attacks your self-image, the constant urge to compare yourself to others, the overwhelming desire to disappear. Recognizing these warning signs early is paramount to prevent a catastrophic collapse of self-worth. With these breaking points now in clear focus, what steps can you take to not only manage the intensifying energies, but to thrive amidst them? The key lies in what I call energetic triage, a crucial process for prioritizing which areas of your life need immediate attention during this Venus peak. This isn't about ignoring certain aspects of yourself, but strategically addressing the most critical imbalances first. Energetic triage involves assessing the severity of the energetic overload in your relationships, your creative pursuits, and your overall sense of self-worth. Think of it like a battlefield medic, quickly evaluating the wounded and determining who needs immediate care to survive. To help you determine where you're experiencing the most significant energetic overload, let's take a moment to engage in a self-assessment. Grab a pen and paper and rate the following questions on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all and 10 being extremely. On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious do you feel about your primary relationship or lack thereof? How creatively blocked do you feel right now, unable to express your authentic self? And how would you rate your overall self-worth on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being deeply inadequate and 10 being completely self-accepting? Take a moment to consider those answers before moving on. Once you have your scores, focus on the area with the highest number. That's your priority. Addressing the most pressing issue will create a ripple effect, positively impacting other areas of your life. It's like treating the most severe wound. First stabilizing that area allows the body to begin healing as a whole. But what immediate actions can you take to alleviate the pressure? Let's look at quick relief techniques for each archetype to address the immediate symptoms of energetic overload. For the lover archetype, when feeling overwhelmed by relationship anxiety, engage in a self-soothing activity. Take a long, warm bath with essential oils, listen to calming music, or spend time in nature, grounding yourself in the present moment. The lover might find relief in practices such as meditation or gentle yoga, which can help calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety. Or perhaps write a journal entry expressing your feelings and fears, allowing yourself to release pent-up emotions without judgment. For the artist archetype, when creativity feels stifled and self-doubt creeps in, take a complete break from your creative project. Step away from the canvas, put down the pen, and engage in a completely different activity that brings you joy. This could be anything from going for a walk in nature to spending time with loved ones to simply watching a funny movie. The artist might also seek inspiration from other sources, such as visiting an art museum, listening to new music, or reading a captivating book. It is all about changing gears and shifting the energy. For the mirror archetype, when struggling with negative self-talk and feelings of worthlessness, practice self-compassion. Challenge those harsh inner criticisms with affirmations of self-love and acceptance. The mirror might find it helpful to look in the mirror and say kind things to themselves, even if they don't fully believe them at first. Or connect with a trusted friend or therapist who can offer support and validation. The mirror can begin their days with positive affirmations and end their days reflecting on what they are grateful for. But these are just temporary fixes. To truly harness the power of this Venus peak, you must learn to discharge the excess Venusian energy and restore balance within. How do you achieve this? For the lover archetype, this means practicing detachment, setting healthy boundaries, and focusing on your own needs and interests. The lover might practice meditation to cultivate inner peace and reduce anxiety. Or the lover may want to take a yoga class to release tension and connect with their body, or simply spending time with friends, doing activities that have nothing to do with their relationship. And the lover may benefit from journaling, exploring their feelings and thoughts, and setting clear boundaries with their partner. For the artist archetype, discharging excess energy means engaging in a creative purge, freely expressing your emotions and ideas without judgment or self-criticism. The artist might try freewriting, pouring out their thoughts onto paper without editing or censoring themselves. Or they may try painting or drawing, allowing their emotions to flow onto the canvas, and maybe dancing, moving their body freely to release pent-up energy, or playing music, improvising and letting their emotions guide their fingers. For the mirror archetype, discharging excess Venusian energy means engaging in self-care activities that promote self-love and acceptance. A mirror could try taking a luxurious bath with essential oils and candles. They might also enjoy getting a massage to release tension and connect with their body. And spending time in nature can also ground them and restore their balance, along with practicing mindfulness, focusing on the present moment, and accepting themselves as they are. But remember, consistency is key, and self-compassion is essential. Shifting ingrained patterns takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you stumble along the way. And these techniques are not one-size-fits-all. Experiment with variations to suit your unique preferences and lifestyle. Now, with these strategies in hand, you can begin building energetic immunity. This is about implementing preventative maintenance strategies to safeguard against future overloads and cultivate resilience. What actionable steps can you take to prevent future energetic overloads and build resilience? For the lover, that means cultivating healthy interdependence in relationships, developing a strong sense of self-worth independent of your partner, and practicing assertive communication. The lover can take steps to develop a more secure attachment style, such as seeking therapy to address past traumas, practicing mindfulness to regulate emotions, and cultivating a strong social support system outside of their relationship. For the artist, preventative maintenance involves reframing perfectionism as a guide rather than a jailer, embracing experimentation and failure as learning opportunities, and finding joy in the creative process itself. The artist might try setting realistic goals, breaking down large projects into smaller, manageable tasks, and celebrating small victories along the way. The artist can join a supportive creative community where they can share their work and receive constructive feedback or practice self-compassion. For the mirror, energetic immunity involves challenging negative self-talk, practicing self-compassion, and connecting with others authentically. The mirror can start a gratitude journal, writing down things they appreciate about themselves each day, challenge negative thoughts by asking themselves if they are truly accurate, and surround themselves with positive and supportive people. As you move through the Venus Peak, be sure to create a personalized, energetic toolkit, a collection of practices and resources you can draw upon when needed. This might include meditation apps, self-help books, online support groups, and trusted friends or therapists. The key is to have a readily available arsenal of tools to help you navigate challenging moments. Remember, maintaining energetic balance is an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. It requires ongoing self-awareness and self-compassion. But what if you could harness this Venus peak to unlock unprecedented levels of personal growth and fulfillment? Allow me now to guide you to visualize the transformative potential of the Venus peak. Imagine yourself having successfully navigated the challenges and emerging stronger, more authentic, and more empowered than ever before. For the lover, visualize yourself in a healthy, loving relationship, feeling secure and supported, while also honoring your own needs and boundaries. See yourself communicating openly and honestly with your partner, resolving conflicts constructively, and nurturing a deep sense of intimacy and connection. For the artist, visualize yourself freely expressing your creativity, feeling confident and fulfilled, and sharing your work with the world, not for validation, but for the sheer joy of creation. See yourself overcoming creative blocks with ease, embracing experimentation and failure, and finding inspiration in the most unexpected places. And for the mirror, visualize yourself accepting and loving yourself unconditionally, flaws and all, feeling connected to others authentically, and radiating self-worth and confidence. See yourself challenging negative self-talk with kindness and compassion, celebrating your strengths and accomplishments, and embracing your unique beauty and individuality. The Venus peak is an opportunity for accelerated growth, and you have the power to create a life filled with love, creativity, and fulfillment. You are not alone on this journey. The universe is supporting you every step of the way. But here's the crucial question. Are you truly ready to step into your power and claim the extraordinary life that awaits you? What lies ahead may challenge everything you think you know about yourself and your place in the cosmos. But before we can truly step into that power, we must confront the distortions, the illusions that Venusian energy can cast, particularly when amplified during this peak. Are you ready to see beyond the surface, to dismantle the fantasies that hold you back from genuine connection, authentic creation, and unwavering self-worth? For the lover archetype, the most insidious distortion is the twin flame myth, the idea that there exists one perfect soulmate, an instant connection that guarantees a happily ever after. This myth promises effortless love, perfect compatibility, and a destiny ordained by the cosmos. You've seen it in movies, read it in books, maybe even felt a fleeting glimmer of it yourself. The instant spark, the feeling of coming home, the uncanny similarities, these are the hallmarks of the twin flame fantasy. But what happens when reality clashes with this idealized image? What happens when disagreements arise, when flaws are revealed, when the effortless connection demands actual work? This idealization prevents individuals from recognizing red flags or addressing real issues in their relationships. For instance, someone caught up in the twin flame fantasy might ignore controlling behavior from their partner, rationalizing it as a sign of deep love and protectiveness. They might overlook blatant disrespect, dismissing it as a temporary lapse in judgment from someone who is meant to be with them. Or the twin flame idealizer might also dismiss actual green flags in other relationships, causing them to miss out on healthy and supportive partners because they don't fit into the twin flame mold. We, however, have a responsibility to recognize these patterns and act accordingly. If someone is consistently making you feel small, unheard, or unsafe, it doesn't matter how destined the connection feels. You have a responsibility to yourself to prioritize your well-being. Healthy relationships require effort, compromise, and ongoing communication. It's not about finding the perfect person, but about building a strong, resilient connection with someone who is willing to grow and evolve alongside you. Individual growth and self-awareness are paramount. A lasting partnership is forged in the fire of mutual respect, shared values, and a willingness to navigate life's challenges together. So, let's put this into action. Take a moment to examine your past relationships. Have you ever fallen prey to twin flame thinking? Did it help or hurt the relationship? What did you learn? Write down specific examples of how the twin flame myth influenced your choices and actions. Did it cause you to ignore red flags? Did it prevent you from addressing real issues? Did it lead to unrealistic expectations? Be honest with yourself. This isn't about assigning blame, but about gaining clarity and breaking free from limiting beliefs. It's about recognizing that true love isn't about effortless perfection, but about conscious commitment and courageous vulnerability. For the artist archetype, the most crippling distortion is the inner critic, that relentless voice that whispers doubts, nitpicks imperfections, and sabotages creative flow. This critic thrives on fear of judgment, perfectionism, and the belief that your work will never be good enough. But how can we silence this inner tyrant and unlock our creative potential? The key lies in mindful creation, focusing on the present moment, and letting go of expectations. It's about immersing yourself in the act of creation without worrying about the outcome. Cultivating mindfulness during the creative process can be achieved through specific exercises. Start by paying attention to your breath, noticing the rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. Focus on the sensory details around you, the colors of your paint, the texture of your clay, the sound of your pen scratching against paper. Release judgments about your work, simply observing what is, without labeling it as good or bad. Bypassing the inner critic requires specific strategies. Try writing continuously for a set period of time, without editing or censoring yourself. Engage in improvisation, allowing yourself to create spontaneously, without a plan or preconceived notion. And most importantly, embrace imperfections, recognizing that mistakes are an inevitable part of the creative process and often lead to unexpected discoveries. Experiment with different techniques and find what works best for you. The goal is to create a space where your inner critic has no power, where you can create freely and authentically without fear or self-doubt. Now, here's a challenge. Create something badly on purpose. Create art without judgment, without overthinking, without needing it to be perfect. Paint a picture using only your non-dominant hand. Write a poem using only words you randomly select from a dictionary. Sculpt a figure out of clay with your eyes closed. The point isn't to create a masterpiece, but to break free from the constraints of perfectionism and rediscover the joy of pure, unadulterated creation. What did you learn from this exercise? Did you discover new techniques or perspectives? Did you find a sense of freedom in embracing imperfection? Write down your insights and reflect on how you can apply them to your creative process going forward. For the mirror archetype, the primary distortion is relentless self-criticism, that nagging voice that focuses on flaws, amplifies insecurities, and undermines self-worth. This self-critic thrives on comparison, perfectionism, and the belief that you are not good enough as you are. But how can we cultivate self-compassion and embrace our imperfections? The answer lies in the self-compassion break, a practice of acknowledging one's suffering, recognizing one's common humanity, and offering oneself kindness and understanding. The three core components of self-compassion are self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Self-kindness involves treating yourself with the same care and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Common humanity recognizes that suffering and imperfection are an inevitable part of the human experience. And mindfulness involves observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing yourself to be present in the moment. Each of these components helps to combat self-criticism by shifting your perspective from harsh judgment to gentle acceptance. Here's your challenge. Practice self-compassion in moments of self-doubt or criticism. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and take a deep breath. Acknowledge your suffering, recognizing that it's okay to feel inadequate or insecure. Remind yourself that you are not alone. Everyone struggles with imperfections and insecurities. Then, offer yourself kindness and understanding, using specific phrases and actions. Say to yourself, "May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept myself as I am. May I give myself the compassion I need." You might also try placing your hand over your heart, offering yourself a physical gesture of comfort and support. Create a list of self-care ideas. Take a luxurious bath, read a comforting book, listen to uplifting music, spend time in nature, or connect with a loved one. Experiment with different activities and find what brings you the most joy and relaxation. Now, let's delve into the transformative process of shadow integration. This involves acknowledging and integrating the repressed aspects of the self, leading to wholeness and empowerment. But what exactly are these shadows, and why is it so important to bring them into the light? Shadow integration offers numerous potential benefits. Increased self-awareness allows you to understand your motivations and behaviors more deeply. Greater authenticity allows you to express yourself freely and honestly without fear of judgment. And improved relationships allow you to connect with others more genuinely and compassionately. Let's reiterate shadow characteristics for each archetype. The lover's shadow is a fear of abandonment, the artist's shadow is the fear of judgment, and the mirror's shadow is a fear of vulnerability. Recognizing these specific fears is the first step towards integrating them. Exploring and integrating the shadow self can be achieved through journaling, dream work, and creative expression. Journaling prompts specific to each archetype might include: what am I most afraid to admit about myself? What parts of myself do I try to hide from others? What limiting beliefs am I holding onto? Before you begin, a safety warning: shadow work can be challenging and potentially triggering. It's crucial to approach this process with caution and self-compassion. If you have a history of trauma or mental health issues, it's essential to seek support from a therapist or trusted friend. Specific warning signs of being overwhelmed with shadow work include increased anxiety, panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, and difficulty functioning in daily life. If you experience any of these symptoms, stop the process immediately and seek professional help. Remember, there is no shame in asking for support. Finally, let's create a Venus peak realignment ceremony. Integrating insights gained and setting intentions for the future. This ceremony is a powerful way to honor your journey, release old patterns, and step into your best self. Begin with preparation. Review your notes, intentions, and commitments from the previous exercises. Choose a quiet space where you feel safe and comfortable. Gather meaningful objects that represent your values, goals, and aspirations. Create a sacred atmosphere by lighting candles, playing soft music, or using aromatherapy. Step 1. Acknowledge and release old patterns. Write down a list of old patterns you want to release: limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, unhealthy relationship behaviors, creative blocks. Then burn the list, symbolizing their release. As you watch the flames consume the paper, visualize yourself letting go of these patterns, freeing yourself from their grip. Step 2. Embrace new intentions. Write down your intentions for relationships, creativity, and self-worth. Be specific and clear about what you want to create in your life. Frame your intentions in a positive and empowering way, focusing on what you want to attract rather than what you want to avoid. Step 3. Visualize desired outcomes. Close your eyes and visualize each intention coming to fruition. Feel the emotions associated with their fulfillment: joy, love, confidence, creativity. Immerse yourself in the experience, allowing yourself to fully embody the life you want to create. Step 4. Express gratitude. Express gratitude for the journey, the lessons learned, and the opportunities ahead. Thank the universe, your guides, and yourself for your courage, resilience, and commitment to growth. To close the ceremony, create an action list of steps you will take this week to meet those intentions. Small, consistent actions are key to manifesting your desires. What is one small thing you can do each day to move closer to your goals? Remember, the Venus peak is a catalyst for transformation. By embracing vulnerability, releasing limiting patterns, and stepping into your power, you can create a life filled with love, creativity, and unwavering self-worth. But what unseen forces are at play during this peak? What subtle signs might you be missing? This Venus peak, this concentrated surge of relational and creative energy, serves as a powerful lens, focusing light on the core aspects of self, urging introspection, and demanding realignment. It wasn't merely an astrological spectacle, but an invitation to actively sculpt a more authentic existence. Over the course of this journey, we have navigated the depths of archetypes: lover, artist, mirror, confronted shadows, rewritten subconscious scripts, examined spiritual contracts, and sought energetic equilibrium. These explorations weren't abstract exercises, but tools to dismantle limitations and construct a future resonant with purpose and joy. Each archetype presented its own unique challenges and corresponding lessons. For the lover, the path led to cultivating healthy interdependence, establishing firm boundaries, and anchoring self-worth internally, independent of external validation. The artist confronted the inner critic, learning to embrace imperfection and express their creative voice without reservation or fear of judgment. And the mirror, perhaps the most challenging of all, learned to practice radical self-compassion, challenge ingrained negative self-talk, and connect with the world from a place of genuine authenticity. Remember, these aren't boxes to be confined within, but perspectives to integrate, creating a harmonious whole. The intensity of this Venus peak may have stirred up uncomfortable truths, unearthed long-buried emotions, and tested the foundations of relationships. Acknowledge the challenges encountered, the moments of doubt, the sheer effort of confronting deeply ingrained patterns. Growth rarely unfolds in a straight line. It is a winding path marked by both triumphs and setbacks. Know that the turbulence experienced is not a sign of failure, but a testament to the courage to confront the shadows and strive for a brighter horizon. The universe recognizes that effort and stands ready to support the next step forward. Imagine the fully integrated self, the lover acting from a place of unwavering self-worth, capable of both deep intimacy and healthy detachment. The artist expressing their unique vision with fearless abandon, unburdened by the need for external approval, the mirror radiating self-acceptance and compassion, creating ripples of positive change in the world around. This is not a fantasy, but a tangible possibility within reach. Now, it's time to translate insights into action. This video wasn't just about acquiring knowledge, but about igniting change. Choose one small, actionable step that can be taken this week to actively align with the highest self. Will it be ending a draining relationship that no longer serves growth, beginning a creative project that has been languishing for months, committing to a daily practice of self-compassion, setting a boundary with someone whose presence consistently diminishes well-being, or perhaps simply reaching out to a trusted friend or therapist for support? Share the chosen action step in the comments below, creating a community of accountability and mutual encouragement. Track the progress made, however incremental, and report back in a week or two. The collective energy of shared intention amplifies individual efforts, creating a powerful wave of change. Be patient and gentle through it all. Transformation isn't an overnight process, it's a journey of continuous refinement. Picture the horizon, the potential for exponential growth, profound fulfillment, and boundless abundance awaits. Envision the radiant outcomes of integrating the Venus peak lessons. Relationships built on mutual respect and unwavering support, creative breakthroughs that shatter previous limitations, an unshakable sense of self-worth that anchors through life's storms, and an all-encompassing sense of purpose that guides every action. See the lover archetype thriving in a supportive, balanced partnership where vulnerability is celebrated and individual growth is actively encouraged. Witness the artist bringing forth fulfilling, impactful work that touches the hearts and minds of others, leaving a lasting legacy of beauty and inspiration. Feel the mirror building an unshakable sense of self-esteem, radiating confidence and compassion, and attracting connections that reflect that inner radiance. Hold these visions in mind, imbuing them with emotion and anchoring them into reality. The universe responds to clear intentions amplified by unwavering belief. Repeat after me: I am worthy of love, creativity, and abundance. I create my reality, and the universe supports me every step of the way. The Venus peak may be drawing to a close, but the journey of transformation continues. Make the techniques and strategies explored in this video a permanent part of life, weaving them into the fabric of daily existence. Establish a long-term vision for relationships, creative pursuits, and personal well-being. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Then, develop a structured plan for evaluating progress and refining the approach. How will success be measured? What milestones will mark the path forward? Remember, self-awareness, self-compassion, and unwavering resilience are the compass points that guide through future challenges. Thank you for dedicating time and energy to this exploration of self. Gratitude is extended for the willingness to engage in introspection, embrace vulnerability, and commit to personal growth. Your willingness to evolve inspires us all. Subscribe to this channel for ongoing insights and guidance on astrology, relationships, creativity, and self-worth. In the coming weeks, we'll be diving deep into the upcoming Mercury retrograde and how it will uniquely impact each of the zodiac signs. Share experiences, questions, and insights in the comments below, contributing to a vibrant community of support and shared growth. A potent question to ponder: what was the biggest takeaway from this Venus peak exploration? What action step are you committing to this week to honor the Venus peak message? Remember, you are the architects of your reality, endowed with the power to manifest a life overflowing with love, joy, and abundance. Trust the intuition, embrace authenticity, and never relinquish dreams. But also, remember to do your own research and due diligence when following advice or guidance. And keep watching the skies, because what is coming in March will be even more mind